In this video, I'm going to be showing you guys the top 10 best builds in NBA 2K22 Next Gen. Also, if you guys could do me a quick favor, scroll down, smash that big red subscribe button, as well as like the video, that'd be greatly appreciated. Also, I'm trying to do more gameplay videos, so let me know if there's any builds I should try out down below in the comment section. So starting things off with the first build, for this build, we're going to be making a meta point guard. Obviously, for the position, you're going to want to go with a point guard. For the body settings, you're going to want to go with 6 feet for the height, 157 pounds for the weight, and 6 foot for the wingspan. This will give you Hall of Fame playmaking, 99 three-pointer, and 99 speed and acceleration once you get gym rat. Onto the attributes screen. For finishing, you're only really going to have close shot upgraded. However, for shooting, you're going to have a 99 three-pointer and 40 shooting badges, so you're not going to be missing. And as you guys can also see, your playmaking is absolutely crazy. You could adjust it so you get gold bolt passer, but personally, I don't really think it makes that big of a difference. Your defense isn't like crazy or anything, but it's definitely much better than all those really short point guard builds you guys see. And your physicals are also very good. Even though it doesn't show up on the attributes screen, the Gatorade drills and gym rat will give you the +4 in game, giving you a 99 speed and acceleration. If you want free throw, I would recommend making this adjustment. First, drop your mid-range down to a 92. Next, max out pass accuracy, give yourself a 95 stamina, and as you guys can see, you can have an 85 free throw, which is very, very good. For the takeovers, I decided to go with double limitless takeover. I think definitely for a point guard build, these are the best takeovers, and especially for a point guard build that's really only going to be shooting threes. And as you guys can see, I built a playmaking shot creator, which does make sense as a name. So hopping right into the second point guard build of this video, this is going to be more of an all-around build. For the height, you're going to want it at 6'2". For the weight, you guys see. And then for the wingspan, you're going to want it at 6'10". Your finishing on this build is actually going to be very, very good with elite contact dunks and small contact dunks. Your shooting is also going to be very, very good with 27 total shooting badges. And plus, you will have free throw on this build. Your dribbling and passing is also going to be very, very good with gold bullet passer and Hall of Fame quick first step. Defensively, you will be able to hold your own, especially on the perimeter. Plus, your physicals are all around very good. Also, you do need 85 vertical to get small contact dunks. For the takeovers, as you guys can see, I'm going with double limitless again. I already explained why I think these are the best takeovers for point guards. And then as you guys can see, I've built a two-way threat, which basically tells me I've done a good job making this an all-around build. So hopping right into the shooting guard position. For this first build, you're going to want to be 6'5", 175 pounds with a 6'8" wingspan. I think this just is a very nice all-around balance. It can do everything very, very well. The finishing on this build is, in my opinion, pretty good, at least for my play style. I'm not rim running every single possession, and I don't rely on elite contact dunks whatsoever. And having only pro contact dunks is more than good enough. The shooting on this build is going to be lights out, and you're going to be able to green pretty much every shot. Your playmaking is also very, very good. Not nearly as good as the previous two builds, but very good still. And then defensively, even though you only have 17 badges, in my opinion, this is the best defensive build I've shown you guys, just since you're a little bit taller. And plus, as you guys can see, your physicals are crazy and you're going to be keeping up with everyone. For the takeovers, I went with double limitless again, since this is kind of a pure sharp build. Now, if you want to, you can switch things up, but the only thing I would maybe change it to is ankle breaking shots. And as you guys can see, I built a two-way three-point shot creator, which honestly I can kind of see as a name. For shooting guard build number 2, this is going to be a two-way sharpshooter. For the body settings, I decided to go with 6'5", 175 again. However, for the wingspan, I went with 6'10" just to have better defense. As you guys can see, for the finishing attributes, we basically have none. If you're wide open, you can still go up with dunks, but you're really never going to be taking them. Whenever you get the ball, realistically, you're either going to be greening or you're going to be running backwards to do a handoff to your guard. As you guys can see, your shooting is top tier with 30 total shooting badges, which is definitely very important for a shooting guard build. Now, on this build, we have good ball handling, good speed with ball, but we have no pass accuracy. I think this is actually the only build on this list with no pass accuracy, and it's definitely the only build they should make with no pass accuracy. It would be nice to have, yes, but I feel like every time I get the ball in a two-way sharp, I just end up running backwards to do a handoff. The defense, as you guys can see, is also crazy with Hall of Fame perimeter defense defense, and steal badges. And then the physicals are also very, very good. For the takeovers, I went with the first takeover as extreme clamps, since I think having a lockdown takeover is going to be more valuable. And with takeover number 2, I did go with limitless range. As you guys can see, I built a two-way shot creator. I was hoping for a two-way shot, but this does work. So on to build number 5 of this video. We're going to be making a small forward. And this is going to be probably the best scoring build in the game. For the height, you're going to want to go with 6'6". For the weight, you're going to want to go with 180 pounds. And then for the wingspan, you're going to want to go with 7'1". As you can see, your finishing is very, very good with elite contact dunks and 26 total finishing badges. And just like your finishing, your shooting is also going to be very elite. Next, for playmaking, you're definitely not going to be a primary ball handler on this build, but you can move around the court and not be scared about getting every pass intercepted. The defense, as you guys can see, is not great or anything, but it's definitely very, very good. You have an 85 perimeter defense and a 90 steal. Plus, you're on a 6'6" build with a 7'1" wingspan. And then, of course, as you guys can see, your physicals are also very good. If you do want free throw on this build, I recommend dropping down your stamina to a 90, and then next, drop your speed down 1 rating to an 87. You can then get a 92 free throw. For the takeovers, you guys can go with whatever you want to. I went with limitless, and then I went with finishing moves, since I want this to just be an offensive juggernaut. And then as you guys can see, I built a two-way slashing shot creator, which I guess kind of makes sense as a name. For build number 6 and the second small forward build of this video, we are going to be making a lockdown. I love how we just went from the best offensive build to the best defensive build in the game. For the height, you're going to want to go with 6'7". That way you can guard big men as well as guards. For the weight, you're going to want to go with 186. And then for the wingspan, max this out at 7'4". Even though you don't have incredible badges or anything, you will get elite contact dunks and you're going to be yamming on everyone. You only have a 79 three-pointer on this build, but you have 24 shooting badges. And as I've said before, having a lower three-pointer doesn't mean you can't shoot. As long as you're timing your jump shot correctly, you will still be able to green and you will still be able to shoot. However, with a low 3-point, you're not getting bailed out with whites. The playmaking on this build is kind of mid. You're not really a ball handler on this build, but definitely if you know what you're doing, you're going to be able to dribble. And then the defense, as you guys can see, is nuts. It's very rare to see a build with high perimeter, high steal, high block, and high rebounding. This is one of very few builds in this game where I'm confident that no matter who I'm guarding, whether that be a guard or a big man, I'm going to be locking them up, making this build very versatile. And then the physicals, of course, are very good. If you do want free throw on this build, you're going to want to drop your speed down 1 rating and also drop down your stamina to a 90, and you can get an 82 free throw. Now for the takeovers, I decided to go with double extreme clamps, since I do want this to be a pure lockdown. As you guys can see, I built a two-way slashing shot creator, which if I'm not mistaken is actually the same name as the previous build despite being very different. On to the power forward builds. For this build, we're going to be making a stretch playmaker. For the body settings, you're going to want to go with 6'8", a 210, and 6'11 wingspan. The finishing on this build is pretty good with 26 finishing badges. And you also will be able to consistently do driving dunks and standing dunks. The shooting is also very good on this build with an 85 three-pointer and 28 shooting badges. And then you might not believe me, but your dribbling is actually very, very good on this build, as well as your passing. Your defensive / rebounding is pretty decent, and so are your physicals. In addition, this build also has 104 total badges. If you do want free throw on this build, drop down your driving layup to a 77. Next, drop down your stamina 1 rating, and then just off the strength of that, you can get an 80 free throw. For the takeovers, we're on a stretch playmaker, so I went with ankle breaking shots and limitless range. There's honestly just something so satisfying about seeing someone fall on a 6'8". And as you guys can see, I've built a stretch playmaker. I don't really care about the names too much, but it's definitely very cool to see. For power forward build number 2, we are going to be making a meta popper build. For the body settings, you're going to want to go with 6'9" height, 214 pounds, and a 7'1" wingspan. Your finishing on this build is honestly going to be crazy. You have 33 total finishing badges and a 93 standing dunk. Your shooting is 100% going to be lights out with 28 shooting badges and an 83 three-pointer. Plus, you do get gold hot zone and Hall of Fame sniper. For this build, you're definitely going to be able to pass with an 88 pass accuracy, plus Hall of Fame break starter, gold needle threader, and gold bullet. And as well, your defensive slash rebounding is going to be nuts with 31 badges. And then these are the physicals and nothing really too crazy. I made this to be more of a park build, so if you want to be running rec center, drop down your post control to a 64. Next, drop down your vertical to a 60. And then finally, if you drop down your stamina to a 96, you can get an 83 free throw. Moving on to the takeovers. For the first takeover, you're going to want to go with See the Future. After all, you are a big man build. And then since you are a popper, for your secondary takeover, you're going to want to go with Limitless Range. And then as you guys can see, I built a facilitating 3 level 2A, which honestly is kind of a weird name. Finally, for our center builds. For this first build, we are going to be making a pure inside rec center build. As you guys can see, for the body settings, you're going to want to go with 7 foot, 219 pounds, and a 7'10 wingspan. Onto the attribute screen, you're going to have insane finishing with 36 total badges, and as well a 99 standing dunk. You're also going to have a 92 free throw plus an 86 pass accuracy. And then for defensive slash rebounding, I don't really need to explain this. You guys just see how crazy it is. And then of course, we have to max out everything in our physicals category. This is definitely going to be a very fun build that's going to destroy everyone on the inside, even with 5 defenders on it. For the takeovers, I decided with the first takeover to go with See the Future. And then for takeover number 2, I went with Stuff Blocks. As you guys can see, I built a versatile paint beast. Moving on to the final build. For this second center build, we are going to be making the best 7'3" in the game. For the body settings, of course, you need to go with 7'3". For the weight, you're going to want to go with 237 pounds so you can get 99 rebounding. And then for the wingspan, you're going to want to go with 8 feet 1 inches. Onto the finishing. As you guys can see, it's honestly crazy. It's not quite as good as the previous build, but it's definitely very, very good. And as you guys can see, for the shooting, we're going to be able to shoot on this build. If you know your jump shot, this build can definitely green consistently, and everyone just leaves you open since you're a 7'3". And also, since you have a high mid-range, you're going to be able to post score in green post fades. You also have an 85 pass accuracy, so you can get gold bullet passer. And then as you guys can see, your defense is also nuts. Plus, you also get Hall of Fame rim protector, Hall of Fame rebound chaser, and Hall of Fame intimidator. Which just means you're going to be getting unlimited blocks and unlimited boards. And then these are the physicals. You're going to be kind of slow, but you're 7'3". That's kind of expected. Next, for the takeovers, I went with double post shot daggers since I just kind of wanted to be toxic. But if you're not really going to be much of a post scorer, you can go with See the Future or Stuff Blocks if you want to. As you guys can see, I built a versatile paint beast. Also, I did a gameplay with a build very, very similar to this. It's in the card above right now if you guys want to see it in action. And with that being said, that is going to wrap it up for the video. If you haven't made it this far, let me know in the comment section. I'm trying to see who's really rocking with me before 10K. This is a jump shot and a build video on the screen right now. Click it. Like, seriously, click it. Like, comment, subscribe. Go follow me on Twitter, and I'm out. Peace.